how to ride their Tour Series, look after their teammates and make sure they're finishing with 5 good finishing times at the end of the day.
Now then, there's a lot more action to come in this race. Don't go away. Welcome back, and the whole field still together as they weave their way around this course, and the pace is frenetic.
Sports Group Kyoto on the front. An individual performance from them would be terrific here in Barrow and Furness, but again, the team competition is tight between Madison Guinness and One Pro Cycling. Wherever one goes, the other one will sure to go.
Well, we're not too far away from sprint number 1. Alex Payton in the middle of our shot there, looking over his shoulder to see who is nearest to him. Payton on pedal heaven. NFTO are starting to take their places near the front as well. And inevitably, we've got the orange helmets of the competitors from Madison Genesis. Now then, Brian, it's been noticeable already, wherever a rider from Madison Genesis goes, there's a rider from One Pro Cycling as well. They're over each other like a rash.
They are, which means that the other teams have to play off that. They know that if they get in a move towards the end of this race, they can benefit from the other teams looking at each other. Alex Payton just swings across. He's got one of the Veloshore Stali Primal riders just propped on his wheel in second place there.
So we're going to look at that and see whether any of these riders that are not in the key positions for the team competition can profit from the key players. And it's Madison Genesis now coming to the front. There's the klaxon. We're 1 lap away for the first sprint in the Chain Reaction Cycles Points Jersey competition.
So Matt Cronshaw of Madison Genesis goes on the attack here in this sprint lap. With him is Christian House in second place there, and young Liam Stones for Rally GSC in third.
Well, they're beginning to wind this up, and Christian House, who's figuring in the leading positions in this points competition, fancies himself here to try and get another 5. I'm looking further down the line to see whether I can spot the overall leader as Tom Stewart and Kniesky.
Well, that is an intriguing competition, this points competition. Just look out for the orange helmets. They're coming up ever so slowly now. Tom Stewart has been there and thereabouts in all these points, picking it up. Still the leader of that competition, but not actually wearing the competition jersey because Madison Genesis have those white and red leaders jerseys on. And
they're wearing those, of course, because they are leading the team competition. Now then, Christian House looking over his right shoulder to see what's happening here. Now then, Rally GAC beginning to get themselves ready. And Kniesky's in second wheel. He always has a lead out, and he's got the big man to lead him out there.
Liam Stones at the front, leading Morgan Kniesky out. He wants the maximum points here. Lawless is on the wheel.
Kniesky now beginning to make his effort. He's got the younger Team Wiggins rider in his wheel, and that's Chris Lawless, but the triple world track champion will not be denied here. Look at this, he's burying himself up to the line. 5 points then for Kniesky. Lawless over the line second for 4, and it was Christian House picking up the 3. And let's look at the other positions. Well, Kniesky got the 5, Lawless the 4, Christian House the 3, Jack Puller, who's a hill climb specialist, got the 2, and Liam Stone's the 1. But the big loser there is Tom Stewart, who's the overall leader of that competition, Brian.
Well, it's maybe be disappointing individually for Tom Stewart not to pick up any points, but they're thinking of the team competition. It's more important to save energy for that.
Now, the more cam shot we're getting here is from the bike of Morgan Kniesky, the Frenchman, and that's an interesting shot as well, is it? Because he's looking right down the straight there, and he's obviously beginning to fall back through the wheels, having delivered a superb sprint there to collect the 5 points.
So Lawless is easing up, looking behind him. More riders starting to come up. Just goes to show you with this camera how close these riders are actually riding with each other.
Well, with this electric pace, Brian, it's very difficult for riders to get clear, and it's also difficult for riders to sit in the comfort zone.
It is, they just have to sit in the wheel like Kniesky is now. Plenty of shelter, plenty of attacks, but I don't think they'll come to nothing because you really have to hit over 30 miles an hour on average round Barrow and Furness to stay away in this flat course.
Well, it's Madison Genesis applying the pressure again at the front here, and Veloshore Stali Primal going with them. Inevitably, Christian House, he's right up there in third spot, and we're starting to pick back markers up.
There's Tobin Horton leading the way for Madison Genesis. He had in the wheel Jack Puller for Veloshore Stali Primal.
Well, we're on the Clancy camera shot here at the moment. He didn't figure in that sprint, but being a man that has a sharp finish, no doubt he'll be hoping for better things to come. We'll take a break. Don't go away. Welcome back, and the field are all together, well, almost all together, fragmenting a little bit here as the pressure is being applied inevitably by one of the riders from Madison Genesis.
The pace is still hot. Tobin Horton just looks behind, and you'll see one of the One Pro Cycling riders just behind him. Wherever they go, One Pro Cycling will go with them.
Noticeable, of course, that Rally GAC are keeping an eye on most of these moves as well, Brian. I think they're riding to a game plan tonight to try and set up Kaniski to grab as many points as he can.
Looks very much like that Rally GAC have come here with a plan in mind, and that is to take the points competition here in Barrow.
Well, they're obviously pitching up Rally GAC to try and underline victory in one of the competitions, and it would appear that they've set their stall out to try and secure the points jersey. They're actually lying down in 5th place in the team competition, some 20 points shy of the Madison Genesis team leaders. But Pedal Heaven have absolutely ridden their socks off, and they're currently lying 3rd.
They are indeed, and well, Madison Genesis and One Pro Cycling are battling for that top spot. Pedal Heaven will want to try and secure that at the end of the Tour Series. Looking at the other teams, Rally seem content and looking for the points competition. JLT Condor, 3 individual wins in a row already, but it looks as if Lawless is on his own for Team Wiggins. That team is sat at the bottom of the team competition, and Lawless seems to be the only individual that wants to try and salvage something for them.
Well, that shot was off Morgan Kniski's bike, and you notice that he passed several riders, which tells us that he's positioning himself near the front, ready for sprint 2. But it's Alex Payton at the moment from Pedal Heaven, the big fella, that's right on the front of the peloton.
And just moving up on the right hand side, I see Christian House maybe thinking of some points. Also Superman Ian Wilkinson in the Rally GAC colours, looking to possibly lead out Kaniski.
Yeah, they really are beginning to gather here. Andrew Horden is also there, the 39-year-old, the oldest member of the Team Rally GAC squad. And the plan is definitely to try and lead out Kaniski for more points.
And Rally riders just massing towards the front. 3 riders, in fact, and a look behind. And it's Ian Wilkinson leading through the most technical part of this course. They are really looking to take this points competition.
Yep, Superman himself, Wilkinson, is a past winner of rounds in this competition, and he's a superb ally to have to lead you out. And the pressure being applied as we see the shot here off Morgan Kaniski's bike.
And while his 2 teammates are leading out, he's sitting behind the NFTO rider, James Loosely Williams.
Well, the pace is really hot, isn't it? The competition is on fire, and nobody can really move up at this kind of tempo.
You can just see from the camera shot, nobody moving up on the left and the right. The pace is too quick. We're just coming along Abbey Road. We're going to sweep into Duke Street, and the sprint will be straight in front of them.
The pressure being applied at the front by the teammates of Morgan Kaniski has stretched out this leading group, and it's set it up perfectly for the Frenchman to time his effort. He's just waiting his time. Now he's making the move, and this is going to be 5 points in the bag for Kaniski. Here he comes. The Frenchman will collect another 5 to add to the top 5 that he collected in sprint number 1. And you can also see the men that did the good work for him finishing in the top positions as well. There's the result for you. Kaniski got the 5, Williams got the 4, Howden and Wilkinson from Rally GAC getting 3 and 2, and the last point going to Christian House. So the overall standings after 2 points. Good work then by the Frenchman. He's got a 6-point cushion over his nearest challenger. That's Lawless.
Very good lead out for the Rally GAC riders, and taking control of this competition here in Barrow and Furness.
Well, they sweep round this right-hander now in these glorious conditions, and there's a superb crowd turned up then to watch the event. And of course, after this, there's 4 more rounds to go as we see a move on the front by John Mould of One Pro Cycling.
So One Pro Cycling on the attack. A look up from some of the riders with the orange helmets. They'll not want One Pro Cycling going down the road. A reaction now, and it's Tobin Horton. It's reacted the quickest in 5th place.
Yep, so also we've got riders right up there from Sport Grub Kyoto. As you look down the long field here, and it's thinning out, and when you see a long thin line, it's always an indication that the pressure really is being ramped up.
You're right, Hugh, the pace is exceptionally high. They're going round this course at over 30 mile an hour. Nice to see some of the other teams get involved in the action. This is Sports Club Kyoto, Pedal Heaven, NFTO, One Pro Cycling and Madison Genesis. Just as I say that, it looks as if Veloshore Stally Prime on the red going across here.
Yeah, there was a small fracture there, but it looks as though they're all going to reassemble. And we've got a shot of Ed Clancy there. He is just taking the right-hander. Clancy, of course, could be a man to look out for if it comes to a bunch sprint tonight. And we haven't had a bunch sprint yet. We're still thinking about it.
This could provide a bunch sprint here, and you're right, Hugh. Ed Clancy is one of the fastest. He already has a win in Aberystwyth, and he'll be possibly licking his lips to make it the 4th win in individual competition in the rounds of the Tour Series so far this year.
Well, Alex Payton was on the front. He really has excelled in the previous rounds, and whilst their team is doing very, very good indeed, he himself has failed to actually make it into the top 3 at the end of one of these legs.
So just as Tobin Horton just eases up at the front of the peloton, yet another attack from One Pro Cycling. This is John Mould, and Tobin Horton has to react. He's already been on the fronts, but a big effort there from Tobin Horton. Make sure that One Pro Cycling does not steal a march.
They're never really far away from each other, are they, Brian? One Pro Cycling makes a move, it's countered straight away by Madison Genesis. They know that the points difference is so small, it's marginal actually. That is why every move is countered.
The thing is, John Mould noticed that Tobin Horton had already made a previous effort and he wanted to capitalise it, but Tobin Horton was equal to him, matched him, and now there's a bit of a lull in the action. Jack pulling the right hand side with Veloshore Stally Primal. The more riders starting to come up and starting to show belief as Marston Via Blocky for One Pro Cycling takes control.
And there's the klaxon. We're into the lap that'll decide the 3rd points counter here in this thrilling competition. Once again, the field reassemble, and it looks as though they take a little bit of a breather at the moment. I can't believe it.
Yeah, steady pace now from Via Blocky. Kaniski in 2nd place. Tom Stewart now moving up, thinking of maybe taking some points, sitting in 3rd place there.
Well, Tom Stewart needs to try and get some points. He hasn't figured in the top 5 in the opening 2 gallops we've had, so he's playing a super team role, but surely, Brian, he ought to be trying to get some points as well.
That's a difficult situation. You either put the team first and then the individual points classification second, so it's difficult for Tom Stewart. The courses that we've already been at really suit him. This is maybe a little bit harder. It's really faster. He really likes the inclines. And just as I was about to say, where are the Rally GAC riders to lead out Morgan Kaniski? And we see them now coming to the front.
Yeah, they've come through right on cue, so they must have heard you actually. A brace of riders from Rally GAC, and inevitably Morgan Kaniski's right there looking to try and get more points.
And just 2nd place there, Kaniski just sitting on the wheel, maybe not as fast as the last time, but just on his wheels. Tom Stewart really looking to gain some points.
Well, Horden beginning to raise the pace at the front for Kaniski, and also moving up is Alex Payton. That's the shot off the front of his bike, but coming up to the line is going to be another 5 for Kaniski. Nobody can deny the flying Frenchman tonight, and he took a handshake there from his teammate, but good riding also by Payton, who came through for 3rd.
It did look as if Tom Stewart was blown off the wheel there by the Rally GAC lead out.
There it is for you. Kaniski got the 5, his teammate picking up the 4, that's Horden. Payton getting 3, and Stewart's opened his account for tonight, getting 2, so he can take a breather. He'll be pleased with that. Kaniski now with 15 points, leading Horden, Christian House, Losley Williams and Lawless. Cannot be beaten in the points competition tonight.
So it looks like job done for Morgan Kaniski and Rally GAC. We're on Alex Cam yet again, and he's just sitting on the wheels. Pedal Heaven have ridden, as we've already said, tremendously in this Tour Series so far. Still only just over halfway in the Tour Series 2015, and I think they have to be the revelation of the Tour Series.
And there is a trophy for the first non-continental team. There are 3 in this competition: Sport Club Kyoto, Veloshore Stally Primal and Pedal Heaven. And Pedal Heaven at the moment have already got their hands on that.
Yeah, pace is still high as we see the Hofcam. This is on the bike of Steele Van Hoff, the Aussie Criterium champion. And we've yet to see a lot from this man. A lot's expected of him, still has to feature in some of these finishes.
Well, he's been hiding in the wheels, if you can hide in the wheels at this frenetic pace, and he is a man that a lot of people